angels will and they'll hold us in their arms. When our worth of stone are ashes and we both passed on, let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. So the question for today is, do they really control the narrative? I think it's a very important question. Very important question. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Kind of an interesting day. Got a Prepper Nurse 1 shirt done, ready to ship tomorrow. I didn't beat the mail lady today, so it is shipped tomorrow. So that's taken care of. Got an email from, I'll call him Little Nicky, because I'm sure he would appreciate it. I'm talking about Nicky with Survival Dispatch. I'm waiting for him to get back with me. It seems that Survival Dispatch and Big Daddy Guns needs more decals. So that's good news. Good news. It's, well, we've been a little dead lately when it comes to our merchandise business. So that's definitely good news. I like to be put to work. I like to be put to work. So, and I like doing business accounts because it's not like one-offs or anything like that. You get bulk orders. And, yep, I'll be working my butt off, but it'll be worth every minute of it. So, let's see. Trying to think of any more updates. I binge watched the first 4 episodes of season 2 of Star Trek. Is it Discovery? Yeah, Discovery, the new one. And I'm telling you, it's got me hooked. It's got me hooked. I really do like it. I really do like it. Anyway, other than that, you know, that's what I've been up to today. Making a T-shirt, binge watching Star Trek, and just doing my normal do. You know, looking into different things going on, and just trying to keep on top of everything. So that's about all the updates that I know of that I have for you. I was going to explain a little bit more of what my project is that I'm doing with the Grow Tent. What I'm going to try to attempt to do, and I think it's a pretty cool idea. I don't know if I'm alone in this or not. I have no idea. I've not seen anything like it anywhere when I've done searching. So here's the thing. I want to try my hand at hydroponics. And one of the reasons why is because the next step from hydroponics is aquaponics, okay? I don't want to go for aquaponics first because that's an extremely hard thing to achieve. A lot of times, you know, people in the beginning, they either kill their plants or they kill their fish. And they do it over and over until they learn how to get it right. I don't want to kill fish and I don't want to kill plants. So I'm going to start out with hydroponics so that I can artificially control the amount of nutrients and whatnot in the water solution, and then I'll go from there. But here's what makes my system different from what I've seen anywhere else. What I'm going to do is a lot of your hydroponic systems, what they do is they literally they root the plants in clay pellets. Okay? There's no soil involved. I don't like that idea. And the reason I don't like that idea is because, you know, you have to sit there and tie up your plants and stuff like that so that they don't fall over. Okay? I don't want to have to necessarily rely on trellising plants to keep them upright. So what I'm going to do, again, I don't know if anybody else has tried this or not. I haven't seen anything anywhere. But what I'm going to do is line the bottom like probably not quite halfway up the pot with the clay pellets. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and I'm going to put it inside the pot on top of the clay pellets that's in the bottom. And I'm going to try to, I'm just going to have to eye it, but let's say 2 to 3 inches around the cardboard, you will have the outside of the pot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the clay pellets around that cardboard on the outside. On the inside of the cardboard, I'm going to put potting soil, okay? Then I will lift the cardboard up out of there so that hopefully, if all works well, the potting soil will stay in its place. My idea behind this is that when I do it this way, that the roots will have something to actually grab a hold of. My hopes are that in doing it this way, that I won't have to worry about tying the plants down quite so much. So we're going to see how it works. I don't know. I think it sounds like a good idea. That don't always mean anything, but I do think it sounds like a good idea. I'm going to give it a shot. So just kind of give you an idea of what my plan of action was going to be. So I'm calling it a hybrid system. I'm calling it hybrid between normal plant growing or whatever you want to call it and hydroponics. So I would say leaning heavy on the hydroponics side because it's still gonna involve pumping the water solution up to the top of the plant and disseminating the water into the plant and then the water draining down through the clay pellets and on out back into the tub that the pot's going to be in. So again, in my opinion, it's pretty much plain hydroponics, except I'm actually going to have potting soil material for the plants to root in. Hopefully that will keep them a little more stable. We'll see. All I can do is give it that old college try, right? So anyway, I thought I would just explain a little bit what my project is. I'm kind of proud of the idea. I'm looking very forward to seeing how it turns out. So, real quick, let me run through the normal stuff, and then we will get on to the subject at hand once again. The question is, do they really control the narrative? So, real quick, Amazon affiliate, we are at $26.51, so that went up a little bit. Google AdSense, still goose eggs. So I don't expect to see much there. And then it takes like forever because you got to build like $100 up before you can even withdraw it. So I don't even know why I'm bothering, but there you go. Let's see. I almost lost track. So anyway, Amazon affiliate program. If you so choose and you shop Amazon, we got a link in the description of the videos as well as on the homepage at thewatchmannews.com right there. If you click that link, it just takes you to Amazon, but it does so with our special link. So if you make a purchase of an item, it doesn't cost you anything more, but it goes a little bit our way. So we got an Amazon store there where it's just a bunch of categories with a bunch of items that works the very same way. Got a Teespring store if you're interested in merchandise. Best place to go to access that is go to thewatchmannews.com. Just scroll down on the homepage, and those are our different designs. It's a lot easier to do it that way, so that way you can kind of get right to what it is you're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to be looking through every product with every design all on one page, and it's just a cluster. Yeah. So anyway, we've got that. We also have a PayPal donate link, so that's in the description of the videos as well as at thewatchmannews.com right there in the main menu. When you click that, it just takes you to our PayPal donation page. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can just use a debit or a credit card as a guest. But I always let people know that it does say Transforming Disabilities. That is us. But it also says Purpose the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. So, okay, good enough. So let's talk about this. So this stems from a comment that was a comment that was left on the monologue from yesterday when I uploaded the video today. And also an email that I got from Steve Engel. And plus just everything that's going on. Not just here in the United States, but around the world. I'll ask the question again. Do they really control the narrative? And when I look at this, there's no answer, because it's both yes and no. The difference is us, right? So they very, very much so control the narrative, in a sense. But there are a few subjects that we find so important that our voice is louder than their narrative. Jeffrey Epstein, ring a bell? Right? I guarantee you they are sick and tired of hearing the name Jeffrey Epstein. Guaranteed. Vaping. Okay? Believe me, the states and big tobacco and big pharma wished it was just a thing of the past. But vapors crawled out of the woodwork and said not no, but hell no. And for now, we still have vaping in much of the country. Of course, there are some bans. So, to a point, they control the narrative. Steve sent me an interesting story, and I see a lot of these different types of stories pop up. Down on the East Coast, south part of the East Coast somewhere, I know there was some dude that was flying a big old flag or something like that, and they were trying to tell him to take the flag down. He refused. There's a bunch of people rallying behind him so that he can keep it up. You know, you'll find these types of stories everywhere, you know. And so Steve had sent me this article here from a website, Independent American Communities. And I'm going to read this article to you. And this is just another way that people are standing up. They've had enough. Yesterday we talked about the Civil War 2.0, right? And, you know, these are largely the reasons why people are feeling this way. You know, vapors. I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but here you've got people that aren't harming anybody else. They're not harming anybody else. But the government and big business is trying to trample on their rights to choose a 95% less harmful alternative to smoking. That sounds ludicrous, just right on the surface. But it involves money, greed, and corruption. Then, again, we'll beat a dead horse, or hey, what about a dead guy, Jeffrey Epstein, right? People are getting tired of this. People are getting tired of watching these extremely corrupt criminals that are a part of our government and part of major corporations just continue to get away with the things that they do. People are getting tired of it. And this is happening on the macro, as the things I've mentioned, and on the micro, as the things you're seeing on your screen. So let's go ahead and read this article, and you'll get kind of an idea of what's going on here. Residents say bah humbug to the HOA Grinch. In one San Antonio planned community, residents rebel against the HOA's holiday decor rules. According to several reports, which went viral over the weekend, Nick Simonis Jr. and his son decided to start decorating for Christmas a bit early this year. You see, Nick's wife, Claudia, is pregnant with their second child with a due date of December 25th, Christmas. Claudia says they're planning ahead this year in case the new baby arrives ahead of schedule. Babies have been known to ignore the calendar from time to time. This year, the family's whimsical holiday decor includes a life-size lighted snowman and several holiday inflatables, including Santa and some reindeer. Ho, 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 happiness and good cheer, 'tis the season after all. Enter the HOA Grinch. Not so fast. Nick and Claudia live in an HOA-governed community, and Lakeside at Canyon Springs HOA appears to be a bit hostile towards personal expression through holiday decor. Several news stations report the Diamond Association Management and Consulting sent the Simonis family a letter saying it's too soon to decorate for Christmas. The homeowners were instructed to take down their decorations and wait until it's closer to the holiday to put them back up. Really? Instead of getting angry, Claudia posted a copy of the HOA's "It's Too Early to Put Up Decorations" letter on her neighborhood Facebook group for all 230 members to see. Here's what happened. Owners expressed their support of the Simonis family to keep their decorations up. In fact, a bunch of other residents put up their own holiday decor in solidarity against the HOA. Now that's an example of a true sense of community, which is correct. That is community, not some corporate governing entity that wants to set the rules for every little thing you do, right? This is community. To add to the humor, Simonis added an inflatable Grinch to their display, holding a sign that reads, "This is the HOA." It's pretty good. I have a hunch this isn't the response the HOA expected. Copycat HOA Grinches. Meanwhile, over in East Naples, Florida, another HOA insists that a homeowner unplug her single string of lights. Single string. Crown Point neighborhood in East Naples, Florida, only allows lights and decorations for 3 weeks before Christmas, no earlier. Unplug them, damn it. Just unplug them. Boy, I have to burst a blood vessel. Let's see. I mean, can you believe this? I can't get it. I don't get it. Once again, when the news hit social media in the neighborhood, quite a few residents started calling their HOA the Grinch. The unidentified homeowner plans to keep her decorations up and is prepared to pay a fine. Not to be undone, in sunny Arizona, the Ahwatukee, and I'm sorry that I probably mispronounced that, Foothills Reserve HOA sent out a reminder to all of its residents that they must not put up holiday decorations more than 30 days before the holiday. Residents and homeowners are not impressed by this bah humbug message from their HOA. Trade group rolls out its usual PR in defense of HOAs. Have you ever noticed that every time there's a major national uproar over stupid HOA rules, the HOA Industry Trade Group Community Associations Institute, which you should probably dig into a little bit, you might find something interesting, goes straight to the mainstream national press to defend the increasing unpopularity of HOAs. One typical example, the New York Times quoted two CAI spokespersons and regurgitating standard CAI propaganda. Last year, 63% of the residents in community associations said they had a positive experience, and 62% said the rules enhanced their property values, according to the 2018 Homeowner Satisfaction Survey. The source? A Texas couple thought November 1st was a good time as any for a giant snowman in the front yard. The Homeowners Association poured hot water on the idea. Well, first of all, CAI holds a vested interest in spreading the myth that most Americans love their HOA. Who can blame them? After all, the majority of their members are community association managers and attorneys representing HOA-governed communities. Each year, CAI professional members reap billions in revenue from their captive consumers, millions of homeowners who are required to pay HOA fees, whether they're happy with their HOA or not. Is this all they've got to prove? HOAs are popular. Here's another little known fact. A portion of CAI membership dues pays for the organization's spin-off research foundation to conduct surveys every other year. These homeowner satisfaction surveys aren't conducted by consumer advocacy groups or research universities. The wise housing consumer must take these reported survey results, cherry-picked by CAI, with a grain of salt. And even if you were to accept as the gospel truth CAI's claim that 62% of residents think HOA rules enhance property values, then you must also accept that 38% of residents don't see any value in HOA rules. Here's another little fact that's never highlighted by the trade group. CAI's self-funded survey results show a declining faith in HOA rules. According to CAI's own reported survey data in 2005, 78% of the residents said that HOA rules enhance property values. Let's see. The rules are the rules. So at best, the industry's trade group supports a tyranny of the majority in HOAville. CAI seems to imply that it's okay for 62%, fewer than two-thirds, of your neighbors to tell the other 38% how to behave. In this case, CAI insists that HOA should enact specific rules about holiday decor to avoid conflict. Come on. In the real world, more often than not, HOAs create way too many rules, most of which serve no real purpose. That usually creates more conflict, not less. HOA governing boards get in trouble when they try to represent the interests of that mythical majority of HOA lovers, dictating to when they think is the right time to decorate for the holidays. No wonder there's so much pushback against the Grinch HOA. So, and then it lists the sources there. So, a couple of things here, okay? If you take a step back and you look at what's going on with these HOAs, it's a carbon copy of what's going on in public housing. Carbon copy. Okay? They have been trying to convince people or force people to either go into public housing or into something like an HOA. Control. Control. If you do your homework, truly do your homework, you will find out. And I'm trying to catch the whole name of it again. Hang on. I'm looking. The Community Associations Institute. If you do your digging, you will find out that they are tied into, who do you think? The United Nations. The United Nations. Same very people that HUD and all the other agencies that represent all the different forms of public housing are tied into. Very interesting. Very interesting. Why? Why do we have international bodies so determined to control everything they possibly can about us? I think you know as well as I do. It's good these people are speaking back. It's really, really good. I would highly recommend that if you can get yourself involved into any type of group or whatever, fighting anything, it doesn't matter. Just be a voice. Be a voice. Get out there and fight. Whether you got a dog in it or not. Get out there and fight. We need to let them know that we don't give a damn about their narrative. and we don't give a damn about them. We do that successfully, and we win. We win this war without a shot ever being fired. But we got to have the numbers. We got to have the numbers. We've got the spirit. I've showed you that. We've had our successes. We've won our battles. Let's win the war. Let's win the war. Anyway, let me read through the headlines, and then we'll get on with the rest of the show. How's that sound? Oops, I'm scrolling before I do anything. Alrighty, I had to have my sip of coffee, gotta have my vape, because, hey, somebody would probably tell me I'm not supposed to, so the big F you. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay. Outrage erupts over Trump administration's legalization of still illegal Israeli settlements in West Bank. Now, I think I said that yesterday. I think that might have been the last headline that I read yesterday. I'm not sure. I wanted to make sure to get that out there because that in itself is just insane. And it's good people are speaking out against it. Pay to breathe, ? These are some I shared last night. Oxygen bars hit New Delhi as India chokes under pollution and declares health emergency. Let's see. Erdogan says if U.S. stance on F-35s doesn't change, Turkey will have to look for defense alternatives. And the headline was different when I shared this, okay? And when I shared it, this is the headline you got, and it's not real clear. So later on, RT put out another article on the same subject that the headline is a lot more clear on what they're saying, and we'll get to that here in a moment. Moscow sees Pompeo's statement on Israeli settlement as step to undermine conflict resolution. We covered that article. Several blasts heard near Syria's Damascus airport, says state media. And I believe that was last night, actually, that happened. U.S. ends waivers for civil nuclear work at Iran's Fordow facility as hawkish GOP eggs Trump on. Marching, beating those war drums, I'm telling you. Beating those war drums. I don't know what's going to come first, right? Most people say chicken or the egg. I'm wondering Civil War or World War III. ? Let's see. New Hong Kong police chief urges locals to condemn the violence as 600 students surrender in university siege standoff. People are tired of it, And think about this. Those people in Hong Kong, right? If they had the weapons that we do in the United States, this would have been over with. Would it have not? This would have been over with. Let this be a lesson to the gun owners of the United States of America. Do not give up your weapons for nothing. For nothing. Do not give them up. Trump's doctor says he was not treated for any urgent issue at checkup amid surgery rumors. So there's all kinds of conspiracy theories going on right now that he was like poisoned and all. Folks, simmer down. Just simmer down now. Jeez. Let's see. Burning rage. Hong Kong protesters set on fire by their own petrol bombs. Not a good plan. It's official. Boeing's troubled 737 loses title of world's most popular jet to Airbus's A320. Russia to dominate world's platinum and palladium production with new Arctic project. 3 Iranian security force members killed by protesters near Tehran, says local media. Let's see. Okay, this is that headline I was telling you that makes the message a little more clear. Turkey to look for F-35 alternative if kept out by U.S., dropping Russia's S-400 not an option, Erdogan says to Trump. Okay, and how many times does Erdogan have to say this to Trump? Because this is probably like the 10th time that I've reported it. That Trump just not get no? Which, by the way, is why I think as soon as he gets in his second term, provided he's reelected, I think he's going to ban vaping and try to take the guns. Mark my words. Mark my words. All he's trying to do right now is ensure his second term. That's it. Once he's ensured his second term, get ready. Russia's holdings of U.S. state debt is 25 times smaller than that of tiny Luxembourg. No doubt America's debt will soon hit $60 trillion, says Ortiz Kaiser report. But the economy, it's doing so great. Worst deal ever. South Korea fumes as U.S. tries to raise price tag for hosting American troops by 5 times. That might be something to put back in the back of your head. Because I'm telling you, I've got this little feeling that North Korea and South Korea have been talking on a regular basis. Put that in the back of your head. Bus stop fights back. Paris protesters face unexpected backlash while staging street mayhem. And he's trying to bust this glass thing, and it bat or whatever he's using just keeps bouncing off. Let's see. EU can't defend Europe. Stoltenberg takes aim at Macron's brain-dead NATO. Assange rape case dropped. Sweden abandons probe that led to WikiLeaks co-founders' asylum in UK's Ecuadorian embassy. Moscow slams U.S. decision to legalize Israeli settlements in West Bank, says it puts a spanner in the works for the peace process. Well, yeah. Syria to get 5,000. Wow, I'll be able to read, I promise. Syria to get 5,000 tons of grain from Russia's Crimea. And I can at least tell you that's 10,000 pounds. Does that count? Shameful, U.S. withholds food and medicine from Iranians while claiming to support them, Foreign Minister Zarif says. Not surprising. We've done the same thing all over the world. All over the world. Venezuela, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Syria, you name it. We've done it all over the world, time and time again. Armada is coming. Russian military to get pilot batch of revolutionary T-14 tanks. A prison guard who slept through Jeffrey Epstein's jailhouse suicide charged with conspiracy and falsifying records. So how much you want to bet this is like as far as it goes, right? And they don't dig any further. They don't go after anybody else. This would be as far as it goes. It's called a scapegoat, right? Just like when Martha Stewart got in trouble for the insider trading bit. Yeah, she was just a scapegoat. They just charged her and supposedly threw her in jail so that nobody would demand that the real criminals, not that she was not a part of that, but the real criminals, the big criminals, they walked free. Not a care in the world. That's what's going on here. Big Brother state, ? Spain begins tracking mobile phones in controversial study to better public services. Don't you love how they always do it? You know, this is for your convenience. Now, bend over. We have our own problems. Ukrainian president says country is sick of U.S. impeachment drama. I'm telling you, countries around the world are getting sick and tired of the United States. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, come on. We got to be realistic about this. UN decries extreme violence by Hong Kong protesters amid fears of further escalation. UN torture envoy demands full accountability and compensation after Sweden drops rape probe against Assange. I'm interested in what's going to happen next. Okay? That's what I'm interested in. What do Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Epstein have in common? Well, they don't hang themselves. But anyway, Senator demands answers on prison suicide. Okay? We'll see. Again, I'm not expecting this to really go anywhere, you know. Let's see. And lastly here, Trump notifies Congress 3,000 U.S. forces to remain in Saudi Arabia. I do have notifications up there. Monopoly. What monopoly? Big tech defends itself from antitrust allegations with denial and doublespeak. Pentagon and war hawks agree U.S. troops should stay in Syria because ISIS. I never did get that brick wall installed, so I can start beating my head on it just anytime I need. Let's see. And Ukraine interfering in U.S. elections is not a Russian narrative, but a U.S. media one. Well, yeah. Anyway, that's your headlines. For those here for the live show, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Those here for the monologue or those watching the recording later on, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.